what if just say I want to transform the data? So you can also transform the data where you can press right click and you go to edit. Once you click edit, it will go to Power Query Editor, and this is where you can just do the transformation. So if you just say I don't want the first column, so I can click here and I press delete, or I can just right click and remove. And if I don't want the first row, I can go to home, I can go choose remove row, remove top row, and I can just choose the removing the first row. So the number of row will be 1. Why 1 row? Because I want to remove the top row only, and I press OK. And then what I can do is I can just press here right click and click fill down, so that it will fill down instead of appearing null. And if you look carefully, here we have Asian Pacific, Americas, and so on. So basically in this one column we have two information, one for the geographical location, another for the products. So what I want to do is I want to segregate. So I can actually notice that when just say I filter Jan, when I filter Jan, you will notice that it will show me all the respective location. So what I want to do is I just want to make some tweaking, whereby I go to add column and I'm going to apply as conditional column. So I apply conditional column so that if just say the column form has the word JAN, then it should appear column 3. So here will be column 4, and then it is equivalent to JAN. So it must be a correct spelling and correct case, capital letter of JA, capital letter of J, and small letters of AN. So it is case specific and correct spelling, and then it should appear as column number 3. So I choose here column number 3, and then over here I'm going to write here null, and I'm going to press OK. So once I press OK, so here you go, I press right click and I will just go to move to beginning. So I click here move to beginning. So over here we do have this data, and then I can press right click, and then what I can do is I can just fill down. So here you go. So one for the location, one for the stores, and so on. And then I want to promote this as the header. So I go to home and I can choose use first row as header, or I can go to transform and use first row as header. And just like that, the first row has been promoted as the header. The next step is I want to remove this total and null. So I just press here, click here, and I will unselect all. So I'll just select the products only. So Apple Watch and iPhones, MacBook, others. So I don't want the total, I don't want the null, I just only want these particular items, and I press OK. So just like that, our data is clean, and we can also actually remove the other columns, because when I scroll right, we do have other columns as well. So what I'll do is I'll just select this column and I'll drag to the right, and I press shift until June, so that we only select this column, right click, remove other columns. So other columns has been removed. And then what I can do is I can select these first 3 columns, and then I press right click and I can choose to unpivot other columns. So just like that, we do have this data. So over here what I'll do is I will try to put this as location. This one is the sales method. Either they go to the Apple stores or they purchase through online. And here we have the products. Here is the months, and over here is the sales. And of course the sales I want to change into a number format, and whole number. And then what I'll do is I'll go to home, I press close and load. So once I press close and load, you will notice right now is the data has been loaded in a proper table format. But if just say I don't want in this table format, I want in pivot table. So what you can do is you can just press here right click, and then what you can do is load to. So once you press load to, you can load to pivot table, and you press OK. So once you press OK, you press OK again, and then over here we can actually produce a pivot table. So basically if you just say I want to know the product, so I'll drag the product at the rows and I'll take the sales. So now this is the data. And then of course I want to format, so right click and then number format, and I'll choose accounting. And I don't want the decimal places, I don't want the symbol. I press OK, and then just like that. And then I also want to sort largest to smallest, and then here you go. So now we do have the sales of each particular products, and we can also put the months at the column section. So now this is our data.